Hey guys, welcome back to day 2 of COVID-19. The time now is almost 5 o'clock. I've spent a full day doing my work from home, doing online calls and all that stuff that goes to working, and I figured why not come outside to my porch here and do some maintenance work on the car. So if you're wondering what could you do while you are stuck at home, and if you have the luxury of having a porch, I guess you could do some maintenance work on your car. Today we are actually going to do this. We're going to work on my Kia Carnival here, and I'm going to do a radiator flush. And what you need is, obviously, I got this contraption here. I'll show you what this is for later. I got my jack there, water, and we are actually going to now do a radiator flush. So let's get started. Now, before you do the flush on your radiator, you got to first look at your radiator, which is obviously there. It is linked to the cap here. Just see where it goes. Don't get confused with the radiator and the aircon condenser. And you want to trace back and to see where is the bleed nipple. Yes, bleed nipple for the radiator. In my case, I'm not sure if you can see this. Somewhere down here. Just yeah. See it? I'm not sure you can see it. Well, somewhere down there, it's actually a nipple. If you open that nipple up, okay, it will let the water come out of the car. And just open the cap here to relieve pressure. Yep, you can see that. Yep. So just like that, my car is taking a leak. Yeah. So at this point, when you have opened the valve from your car and it's coming out, you want to see the color of the coolant. In this case, it's pretty white. But one thing I do notice is that look at all these sediments. A lot of rust in this car. So what that means is not very good. Engine flush was actually due, and not much water came out, which is also a bad sign because I probably have got a coolant leak somewhere. So not a good sign actually. So yeah. Now I got a jack here. And the reason the jack is here is because when you are actually doing a flush, or when you are actually adding coolant into the car, you want to make sure the engine is actually a little higher than the car itself, so that all the air pockets do come up to the very top. So let's go and jack up the car now. So at this point, what I'm going to do is water. Yep, clean out water, and I want to get it in there, and hopefully that should flush the system out a bit more. So this is a very old car. As you can see, the more I do an engine radiator flush, you can see the more stuff comes out. I'm not sure if you can see this, but all these are actually rust sediments from the cooling line. Now, the other thing is that when the car is running and the car gets to temperature, the thermostat will actually open up, and then the water will flow completely. Right now, all I'm doing is the water is going in here and just pumping out what's in the radiator itself. This is the point we actually go start the car and let the car run to temp, so that the so the water will flow to the system completely and get as much dirt out as possible. Look at my key here. I'm gonna give it a crank. Okay, and I've actually added a temperature gauge here, so I can see the temperature of the water. So let's have a look in front, make sure everything is fine, no weird sounds coming. Yep. So water going in now and coming out there, and you can hear the moment the thermostat opens up, you will see that the pressure of water comes out actually changes. And you can also see on this side, because what happens here is that the temperature will go up. Normally around 80-90 is when the thermostat will actually open up. Right now it's at 33 degrees Celsius. It's both digital and analog. That's on the air conditioning. Always a good idea to open the window. No more sediments coming out. The water looks very clean now. You can see. But over here, you can see these are all rust coming from the engine itself. Well, it's an old car. The tensioner might need a change actually. Let's give it a rev. So I'm going to just go ahead and close off the valve that is underneath there for the radiator, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up back with water and coolant. So I got obviously I'm at home now, so I don't have what I actually want, but I had some old coolant lying around which I use for travel. I think I'm just going to use that. I got some here, NASA Radiator coolant. This stuff I had before. I'm going to just use this, add water, and hopefully that should be enough. Yesterday I worked on my Myvi and I changed the water pump. So today I'm working on the Kia Carnival. So let's do this. It's a funny color. Radiator coolant. Okay. Okay, bottle in. Let's add some water. Now you'll see all the bubbles comes out, and that's why this thing is important. So this is actually just a old bottle. I put some tape around it so that it's a good fit. Okay, and if I were to use this instead now, you can see that I can actually pour this, and it's not only a funnel, but it allows the bubble to exceed. Yep, see the bubbles are actually exiting, and that's a good way. Obviously the seal there is not so good. If I had two hands working on this, what I'll probably do is this. One second, let me get the camera. Yeah, I'll probably do this, make it more tighter. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Now, at this point, moment you have filled up as much water as possible, you keep some water level there and start the car, and you'll see why filling up this way is way better than filling up by just pouring stuff directly in. So I'm going to go and start the car now, and hopefully that should speed up the process of filling up the radiator. Now, as you can see, now it's turned white because the coolant earlier was white. It's no longer clear, and you see as it goes along, you see bubbles keep coming up. What I'll do is keep topping this up, and what's happening is the air bubbles is being removed from the system because the car is now jacked up. It's higher than the other parts of the engine, so this is the highest point of the cooling system, and hopefully all the bubbles will come out here. We'll have a look at the temperature. That foaming isn't a good sign. That means there are small little gaps, and most likely the head gasket need to be changed. Let me add more water. Give it a good push with a good seal. Now there are professional kits you can buy which seals it tight, but this obviously cost me nothing. Temperature again, it's at 57 and climbing. 58, 59. Well, the good news is the engine is actually becoming much more calmer. There are bubbles being formed. It tells me that the all the air pockets in the cooling system is coming out now, which is a good sign. Temperature wise, yep, it's not hot. So far so good, except for that small little bubbles there, which is probably not a major thing. Now, see how that shrank? Yep. That tells me the thermostat is doing some work. Yeah. Thermostat probably has opened up and sucking water out. Let's get some more water in there. Oh, it's on. So you can see, so if you were to fill up your radiator, but just looking at the cap there, most likely the radiator isn't full, and most likely there's air pockets in your cooling system. So this is the only foolproof way you have to make sure there are no air pockets in your cooling system, as well as you have sufficient you got sufficient water. So temperature now is at 80, so this is where it counts. If from 80, 90 it goes up to 100, we've got a problem. Houston, help us. If it maintains, then most probably it's fine. I'm gonna check inside and see. Oh. You can see why if it's a 2% job, one person to be inside and one person to look after the water here. But I'll manage. So again, temperature at 82. Let's on the air conditioning. Put some load onto the car. Yes, air conditioning will put load in the car, probably about 5% or 10%, but it should help to simulate load on the engine. Battery at 13.7, water temperature at 82 and holding, which is a good sign. So far so good. Let's look at the front. Yeah. So at this point, the thermostat is open, I believe, and as you can see, no bubbles are in there, which means there is no leak, which means no leak into the engine, which means that there are no bubbles, and we are probably quite safe to actually stop here. I'm just going to let it run for a bit more before I call it quits. Yeah, 83. $84. You can see every now and then there'll be a sudden big pop. That means it's found a new air pocket. Yeah, definitely getting hot now. It's probably at about 90 degrees Celsius. I wouldn't put my hand in there now. Yeah, the water is definitely hot. Temperature at 85 and holding. Think about this. The car is now stationary. Not much air is hitting the radiator. So this is probably a kind of good stress test on the car. 85. Oh, good. On older cars, these things matter a lot in terms of how much air in the cooling system, making sure enough water is there. Yeah, it dropped because you can see the small leak in my contraption here, but other than that there are no major reduction of water. Yep, pop there. Temperature 85 and holding. I think we're doing well. I think all is fine. 85 degrees Celsius. You see, normally cars comes with these kind of temperature warning indicators. I'm not sure if you can see it, but they don't work as well because they're not accurate. These digital ones are pretty nice because they give you very accurate reading. 85. I think I'm ready to call it done. Success. A lot of water in my reservoir, not an issue. I think I'm actually happy with that. Okay folks, so that's how you do a radiator flush, and that's how you fill up your coolant. Yeah, as you can see, it pulled back inside. That's because water expands, and that's why we have an expansion tube, expansion tank. So at this point you can see there, yeah, everything is fine. It's not a leak whatsoever. All is good. The water just went into the coolant instead, and that's why it's a bit warm here. So I'm happy to remove this, happy to put back the cap, and that, my friends, is how I spend my day 2 doing some work on my car. Can't wait for this to end, to finally get out. For you guys it's day 2, for me it's day 3 being at home. We haven't gone out a single bit, except for that hike I did yesterday. It was actually near my taman. As you can see there, that's my house, and you see that's that hill, so it's just next door. I didn't go very far, guys, and I observe social distancing. So I think that's fine. To each their own. Manage how you control yourself from being with others, and I think that is totally fine. So next time, this is me saying stay driven.